Hi and welcome to this live stream. The topic is a serious one, but an important topic. Leaving a toxic partner. And so the path before making the decision to leave, or the process of leaving, or after having left, going out into the world again and readapting to a life without that toxic person who became so important and warped your reality around their preferences and their rules. So my plan was actually to do this like Q&A, and we will see how many who will join this live stream. And but I will start to talk a bit, and then if I get any questions in the comments, I will address those and try to answer them the best I can. And so sharing from my experience or from my knowledge of the subject. And if you're watching this so afterwards, you're welcome to write any comments or questions in the comment section, or share your experience if you have left, or and reflections that you may have, even if it's just the reflection that this feels hard, because it can help someone else to feel less lonely. This path from leaving, or from even thinking about leaving, until you are out and until you are free and stable in the new life. It's a difficult path. And that's actually what the aim of my whole channel is, to light over the bridge, over that path, over that bridge from the toxic relationship to your new life in freedom. So we can all, and it's not only me that can light over the bridge. You can also do that when you are writing in the comments. If you are pressing like on a video or sharing it, that helps to spread this message. And so the aim is, and we will do this together as a community, I think, or I hope, to help women in toxic, abusive relationships to leave their situation and to get to the other side of that bridge. And that's something that we can all contribute. So I will start to talk, and if there are questions, we will jump into them after this, after my little introduction. So today I will make sure to keep a bit of water, and I have prepared with tea by my side, so that because when I talk a lot for a long time during these lives, I realize that I get really dry mouth. So I came prepared today. So before we hopefully get some viewers and some comments or questions, I wanted to share an insight when it comes to leaving the toxic relationship. It's common to not leave the first time you try, or the first time that you think about leaving or are preparing. It's common that you hi Discog, welcome. Happy to have you here, and you're welcome to share anything that you want in the comments, any questions. I will share something in the beginning, and then if there are questions, we will go into them. And the topic is anything that has to do with leaving a toxic relationship. So from making the decision that you want to leave, like the choice between staying or leaving, and then the process of leaving, and the process afterwards of stabilizing yourself and rebuilding your life. So any questions are welcome. But the disclaimer is that I can't give any specific advice, like detailed advice in specific situations, because to do that, first of all, you need the whole picture. But I think it's so this is not instead of seeking out other help or resources. And I always advise to, like if you're in the process of leaving, to call the domestic violence hotlines to get specific advice and safety information and so on. But I'm very willing to talk about any questions, sharing from my experience or knowledge, and speaking about the question in general. But as I said, I can't tell anyone exactly what they should do. So you're welcome to share or share anything that you want in the comments, any questions, or just listen is also fine. And yeah, I wanted to share an insight with you here in the beginning. Let me just take a sip of water. So perhaps you know that when you leave abusive or toxic partner, it's common that this takes time. There is a process of leaving. It's not just a decision. It's not just recognizing that the situation is not good for you and leaving. It takes time. It can take months. It can take years. For me, like the first time I even got the thought of wanting to end a relationship, that was 2004. No, let's see, 2017. And I ended it in 2023. So that was 6 years after. And during those years, I did, so there were a few like instances where I more or less more or less determined to try to leave, but yeah. But the point was that it's, and I think it's common that so 7 times I saw this number, 7 times the average woman tries to leave the abuser before she succeeds. Thank you, Discog. And of course, it is hard to leave. So, and this I've spoken about many times before. So there's this trauma bond, or practical things, and the toxic person often creates a situation where it is hard to end a relationship. And often they don't escalate the abuse until you are in that situation that that it's hard for you to leave. So when you have moved in together, you signed a rental contract, or you married them, or you have kids with them, that's often when the abuse escalates to like unbearable levels. And then all of these things keep you in the situation, so keep you from or make it difficult for you to break up and leave. So the insight and I actually thought about this today. I don't know if any of you have read or heard about the book, The Path of Least Resistance. by, let's see, his name is Robert Fritz. I wrote down his name. And I read this book several years ago. It's a very good book, and it has to do with change. So he's not at all writing about toxic or abusive relationships. He's writing about when you want to do a change in your life. And he, for example, explains that, well, often we don't think about it as such, but we take the path of least resistance. So we take the path that creates less or the least amount of pain and discomfort for us. And he takes the example of someone who is wanting to lose weight, and so they have a certain habits and or lack of habits that keeps that weight on. But eventually they come to a point where it feels really painful to have that weight. So they might look themselves in the mirror and think, wow, I really feel uncomfortable with this weight. Or it's that it feels heavy to carry it around. They might feel less confident with that weight and so on. So that creates like a certain amount of pain. And at that moment, when there is enough painful reasons, they make the decision, well, I have to lose weight. I have to make a change. Because making the change will decrease this pain. So this person goes to the gym and they start to go on a diet and they start to lose weight. And they, after a few weeks, they feel really good about themselves and the clothes fit better and they look in the mirror and feel quite happy. And this means that that pain that they felt, like the reason for them losing the weight, it is now diminishing. But, and at the same time, there is discomfort keeping the diet, going to the gym and so on. And that discomfort, when you reach the threshold, when the pain of looking in the mirror is to like it has gone down, and then the pain of going to the gym is higher, then you will stop the diet. So that's his theory, and I think it's a bit simplistic. It's not the only thing that is going on, and when it comes to when it comes to body weight, there are other factors involved, and it's hard to lose weight once you've gained it and so on. But I thought that it was helpful. In a way, that model is helpful to understand why we suddenly lose motivation. So we lose the motivation to keep pushing when it is hard, when that pain of looking in the mirror has gone down. And it is sort of the same thing, I think, with the toxic relationship. When you make the decision to leave, you often take that decision when they have really behaved badly. They've really hurt you, they've stepped over the limit, and there is now a lot of pain. You feel a lot of pain by staying in that relationship. And then you make the decision that, well, I want to leave this relationship. Highly be welcome. Okay, so you make the decision to leave the relationship when this discomfort connected to staying is at its peak. And you start to make some preparations, or you start to withdraw a bit. So what happens then? Well, first of all, you start to think about all the difficulties and the struggles connected with leaving you might even start to run into a few of these barriers. So the pain of leaving is now increasing. It is hard to leave. And at the same time, the abuser, the partner, the toxic person, is changing their behavior and starting to behave nicely again, and perhaps apologizing and promising to change and so on, or like giving the impression that things could be better. So then the pain of staying in the relationship suddenly drops a bit, and compared with leaving, which is now like all these obstacles and all the struggle and pain that you'll have to go through, it seems like, well, it's the better option to stay and hope that it will, or now he will get it because I really showed him that I will leave. But I think that so what happens when you're going back and forth could partly be this, like the pain of being in the relationship goes up when the and then it goes down when he senses that you're drawing back, and then at the same time you're running into this all the obstacles and the difficulty of untangling yourself. So I see that we have a few people here already. I might say hey to you. And so the plan today was actually to do like a Q&A. So I don't have a schedule, or I don't have a schedule or a plan. But I will keep talking as long as there are no questions. But now let's see who are here, and you're welcome to share if you want to. If you have any, if you have left, if you are thinking about leaving, or if you're in the process, is there something that you are struggling with? Is there something that you would like to hear how others handle it, or do you have some experience that you would like to share that could help someone else? You're welcome to write it. And so let's start from the beginning, because I saw that this cog is here today. And let's see what you write. Big part of it has been disbelief, cognitive dissonance, learning to trust own self, and disable the steering wheel installed on top of head. Okay. So a big part of, if I get you correctly, a big part of recognizing what is going on is struggling with the disbelief that this could actually happen, and that the cognitive dissonance, that's a hard one. When you have had one image of them and one image of what the relationship is like, and then things start to happen that does not fit that image. It creates a lot of uncomfortable feelings and anxiety, and as you said, disbelief. You don't want to believe that could even be true, and that can go on for quite a while before the image is so clear that you have to drop the first idea that you had of the relationship and accept that no, that wasn't true. That was what is really going on is this, and of course it's not just us. It's also that they are manipulating us and tricking us into these relationships, and they are playing a part. And even if that act comes up more seldom as the relationship goes on, they are still playing that act and claiming to be that person. So and then you say that you had to learn to trust your own self, and disable the steering wheel installed on the top of your head. Yeah, that's that's a good way of describing it. The partner is, it sounds like there has been gaslighting going on. So they have a certain way that they want, or they want you to think and act in certain ways. But you need to go back to trusting yourself. Okay. Let's see. And Libby's here. You made it. Let's see. Oh, you wait. Let's see. Telamonas. Hi, welcome. I think it's your first time here on one of the live streams. Welcome. Today we're doing a Q&A on any questions that you have about leaving a toxic relationship. So you're welcome to write them. Let's see. And Libby says, thanks. Yeah. Sharon is here. Hi. Hello, Sharon. Let's see. Okay. Here's an important question. I'll just take a sip of water. Yeah, Libby, I know that you're still in the relationship. I struggle with denial and feeling sorry for him. I'm still in, making preparations and trying to earn enough to go. Yeah, so you have started to prepare even to leave, or in a way that you want to leave, but you also feel sorry for him. And you struggle with denial about the whole situation. Yeah. That denial, I think it like, because this cog just wrote about that cognitive dissonance. Like, could it really be that he is abusing me? That like the nice guy is not, that's an act? Or it is very hard to really see what is going on. I think, like for me, I think I did not fully like it was. So seeing what is going on is also a process, and I think many like write down certain events, because while we're in it and when things are so bad, we also tend to forget, or not forget, but they sort of slip out of our minds the most horrible things that they did. So I think you're not the only one struggling with this, Libby, and especially when they are turning on that charm, it's very, very hard to keep your head straight and not to believe or not fall for it. I did not even trust myself to be able to do that after. So, and so I was so scared as well, but I was scared of him. So that's why I was very, I did not meet him alone or have him or allow him to come to my home that first half year after the separation, before I had to move to a secret address. But other than that, I also did not trust myself to keep that focus or to keep my determination, because my mind had been so affected by being in that relationship for such a long time. So I think that what you're feeling, maybe like struggling with that denial, with the cognitive dissonance, not fully or not always being clear about what is going on, that's common. That's why we need to remind ourselves, and it's good that you're here in this community and you're educating yourself. I thought it was very helpful to write down the worst things that, like the evidences for what he was doing, the abuse, the worst episodes and things that he had said that showed his real priorities, for example. And I had this little notebook that I had with me where I filled in things. And that was actually after I like after we separated last time. I had to keep this and I had to look at, so I looked at it several times a day to try to keep strong and to keep the low contact, so no talking, and I blocked him on the phone and so on. Yes, and feeling sorry for him is sort of, that's also, I think, a process. We have been trained during that relationship to put their priorities above ourselves or our own, and to be really in tune with how they're feeling, their reasons for doing things, or and it's sort of like that ability to empathize and to help another person. It's sort of like they hijack it, and so our main focus is going into them during the relationship, and we sort of begin to see them in the same way that they see, or they also have this view of themselves that their needs are really important, and we take on that view, and I think also so when we're staying in the relationship because we believe that we are certain that this person loves us, we have seen how good they can be and how kind they can be and how good-hearted they can be and so on. So when they start to do things that does not fit that image that we have of them, we try to understand what is going on. And because we can't even fathom that they don't care and love us like they said, the excuses come automatically. It's not that we make excuses, it's that we try to explain why they are behaving the way that they do with the information that we have. And then we explain their behavior. Well, what has shifted? What shifted when he started to behave this way? Well, it was after the kids came. Perhaps we don't have enough time together. Perhaps like I'm not prioritizing him enough. Perhaps he's stressed about the economy. So we try to understand what is going on, and by doing that, we sort of make excuses for their behavior, but explaining it with the facts that we have. And that makes us feel like we believe that they have a good heart, that they would never harm us, and that they are doing their best. Those, like a person who is abusing us and putting themselves and their wants far above ours, they are not loving us and they're not doing their best. But we have been so used to viewing them in this way, so we have a too kind view on them, and that does not change just because you in on some level realize that it's a toxic relationship and there is abuse going on. That does not automatically change everything that or all the patterns and the way of thinking that you have and the emotions that you have connected to this person. And I think also the trauma bond has something to do with it. I do have, so I link it in every description. I think I have it here as well. I have a free video talking about the trauma bond and how to start to break it. Because even if we, so I did not even like my ex-husband, or at that point he was still my husband, but there was a point where I did not even like him. I did not want him. I was hoping that when he was going on vacation by himself, I was sort of hoping that perhaps he will not come home, or if he would find someone else, like that would be a relief. But even though I did not like him, I still had this trauma bond connection with him. So, and that was activated as soon as he was home. So there were these feelings of anxiety when he was withdrawing, and if he was kind and charming, of course, I wanted to be close to him. So all those emotions can still be there, even if we logically know some new things and you're educating yourself. But breaking free from all of that is a process. So, but I think that take it a step at a time, continue with the preparations. We don't see the whole path. We don't know exactly how everything will work out when we decide to leave. But you go forward, and just a tip, perhaps look into the trauma bond dynamic to start to name it. That can help a bit when you are having these tender feelings towards him, and then write down the things that he is doing, or the things that he has done that really shows where his priorities lie. Because there is often this big discrepancy between what they are saying. He might say that I really want to be I really want to be a good husband and a good father. But what is he doing with his time? He is not spending any time with the kids. He's not spending any time with you. He's he's abusing people of the family. He's using the money that should, the money that you have to spend on himself. So he's prioritizing his own needs in front of others in the family. My my ex-husband would, even though I did not have a car to go around. That's another story. But I was taking the kids with the bus to drop them off at school, and then go to work full time, go home and fix dinner and so on. And so I did not have a car for half a year before the separation. And then he got some money, and what did he do? He went on vacation by himself, like a month during. So that clearly shows what he was prioritizing: his own comfort and having fun. And he did not care that me and the kids were having a really tough time waking up early and take the bus and so on. So take a look at the facts and try to negotiate with your feelings. Let's see. And Libby says, I still wish it weren't the situation. And I've learned so much. The education really opened my eyes, and seeing his response as my own reactions changed. That's great. You wish you weren't in the situation. Yeah. No, you wish that it wasn't the situation. You wish that it wasn't true, that it was like you're in this relationship and he is not treating you well. Yeah, but I guess that you mean that, and you learned so much. Yes, like it really changes things when we start to understand what is going on. So I'm happy that you feel that, and also that you are like starting to notice how he is responding when you change your behavior slightly. That's also a big step forward. And it also shows that you are, I think, starting to emotionally detach a little bit, because you are starting to be able to observe what is going on. So not when we're really in it too deep in these relationships, we're often very much in our emotions. So we don't see behind the curtain at all. We we completely believe the act, and we go up in the feelings completely. Like if we have an argument, we get really upset and sad about the situation, and we don't observe what is going on with them because we are caught up in the act and in our feelings. So that's that's great that you're able to start to see what is going on. Let's see. Telavona says, the most important thing is to realize that they will never change. Yeah, that's very important. I agree. Because we stay longer when, like, before we come to this realization, this person will never change. We stay and hope and try and so on. So I agree. Yeah. Discog says, when one has been groomed to be compliant all one's life, stay sweet, go along to get along. It is very new and confusing to learn how to function differently. Yes. Yes, it is. And I think we have been working from a certain model, assuming that if we are nice, other people will treat us kindly. It's hard to relearn, and even like first of all to know how. So what have we seen, for example? Well, we have seen people be nice and sometimes too kind and helpful, and we have seen people become aggressive and like very entitled, and often we have no model for the middle path. So we have perhaps never seen someone put down, like say no, or put down a boundary, or ask for their needs or something in a balanced way. So it is hard to relearn. Well, firstly because we don't really know how. Okay, so this way did not work. So how do I do it? What's the middle path? And then even if you start to understand, so you understand what you should do, but when you change your behavior, often it brings up a lot of discomfort and anxiety. Especially if you have been in these toxic dynamics. That playing nice and be kind and do your best, and it is a way to keep ourselves safe. A lot of us, especially if we grew up in a narcissistic family dynamic, or if we had caregivers who were unpredictable and emotionally immature, we might have started to fawn early. So fawning is the forced trauma response. Perhaps you've heard about it. And I have been struggling with this myself, and to an extent, I still am struggling with it, even though I am aware of it and much better at not doing it. I still have this automatic, like that's my automatic behavior if I have not retrained it to fawn. So to de-escalate any conflict, to sense if there is some tension and make people feel good, to not create problems or drama or conflict, so not be the reason for why things break down. And I even, it showed up like last time, and I noticed it afterwards. That's why I did that last week at my work. So there were. It's okay. So I'm getting a bit sidetracked here, but it is hard. It's confusion. It's confusing, and we have to relearn, and that is hard. Okay. Let's see. And then you agree with Telemon. Oh, yeah, the painful realization that they will never change. And you say, if they loved me, surely they would want to learn how to not harm. And then comes self-value judgment. Let's see, I'm not really sure what you mean with the second part. Oh, you mean that your brain says, if this person loved me, surely they would want to learn how to not harm me. Yeah. And then comes self-value judgment. And then you start to judge yourself, like wondering if you are valuable. Is that it? Yeah. There is a lot of inner conflict. You come to this realization. They should be behaving better. But then you turn it back to yourself and start to question yourself. Well, perhaps I'm not worthy of, like, perhaps there is something I've done wrong, or perhaps I don't know exactly what you're thinking, but you turn it back on yourself. Yes. Yes, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for many of us, and I think that's also why it's so important to come here, and we see that we are not alone in this. It's unfortunately too common of an experience. But their behavior, the partner's behavior, the person who is treating you poorly, abusing you in different ways, their behavior is not, it's not your fault. there is never an excuse for a person who is choosing to treat their partner, their kids, their family members in this way. And that maltreatment and that abuse, it's their responsibility. And often it comes from the fact that they have an entitlement. They think that they should have the things that they want to have, and without having to give anything back. And if necessary, they will use abuse to get that. So put you down, like, and when I say abuse, it can be verbal, like put you down, manipulate you, tell you that, well, if you haven't done that, if you didn't do that, I would not, like, this happened because you always create this situation and putting the blame back at you. So I think partly that, like, that reflex of turning it back to ourselves actually comes from constantly being blamed by the partner. Because toxic people love to blame others, or they have a habit of blaming others because they don't want to take responsibility for what they are doing. And they don't want anyone to see what so they don't want someone to look at their behavior and to realize what is going on, or to try to hold them accountable. And instead of changing that behavior or acknowledging that what they're doing is wrong, they shift the focus and blame it on circumstances or other people. But their favorite, so the best person to blame for their behavior is the target, is their partner. Often it's the partner who suffers the most of their abuse. Because if it's our fault, then they are justified. Like if you come home and then you scream at something bad at your partner and throw something, and then you say, well, it was just because I was so stressed at work. Okay, like that may be an excuse, but it's much better to blame the partner, because it's just because you you lied to me. You said that you were going to your mother's, but then you were not, like you were at your sister's. Like you are untrustworthy. That's much more effective, and because it, first of all, it completely confuses who has done the wrong. Like you have to defend yourself, and it shifts the focus back to you and away from their behavior. But it also makes you try to avoid, like if you believe that you caused the blow up, you will be more careful the next time to check in with them or to listen. Like if they are saying something that they think is important, you might listen more, or try to avoid to question them, because then they will get in a mood and so on. And that blaming of the victim, of the target, also keeps us. So it affects our confidence and keep us stay and try harder. Yeah. But it's good. I mean, it sounds like you are also in that, like both you and Libby say that, well, I see what is going on, but then I start to feel sorry for them, or I start to wonder if I did something wrong. So that's sort of, it's like our mind is battling with itself, and it's almost like, it feels like in the brain we have these neural pathways where, and if something has been going around in the brain long enough, it's almost like it becomes automatic. Like if we have a certain way of thinking about something, and we have thought about it that way for a long time, like it's a belief system that we have, like that goes very, like it's very important to us. We have structured our thinking around this. Then even if we start to lose, like we lose confidence in that and drop it, but it can happen that we go back, like we can pick it up and start to think about things that way again, because it's an old signaling pathway that is still left there, and it takes time for it to dim. Yeah, I will just have to pour myself some tea again. In Sweden, it's cold now. They say that the Russian cold has come in. It's let's see, 27 minus degrees, and I think that's equal to 16 Fahrenheit. So it's really, really cold. But inside, of course, it's okay inside. Oh dear. Let's see, I will just drink some tea and we'll get to the next question. Let's see. Did you see any effect of growing in that on your children? Our boys are still young and they are becoming mirrors of him. Some things they say or their attitudes, seeing it affect the kids. Oh, I'm sorry, Libby. That's hard to see, like to see an effect on the kids. I will get to, like, I will share my experience. But first I thought, let's see, which book was that? I think it's still, yeah, it's Why Does He Do That by Londy Bancroft. He actually writes about this dynamic and how it is so common when the partner is, like when the father is putting the mother down and abusing her and so on. It's common that the kids, and especially the boys, start to have the same way of thinking about women and about their own mother. Because so there's several factors why this happens. First of all, the father is abusive and a bit like he can, and I don't know exactly what's going on because you asked in general, Libby. So I don't know exactly what's the dynamic in your home, but I thought it was really helpful to read this chapter in Londy Bancroft's book. And I feel like I'm talking about this book every live, but you can find it like an audio version here on YouTube for free as well. Or I have a link in the description otherwise, if you, because that book was really good. Yeah, so he has this example in his book of a father who is treating his family poorly, but he's aiming it at his mother, at the mother. and they are going to an event. I think it's a birthday party or something, and the kids are waiting. They are like excited to go, but the father is in the garage and he is fixing a bicycle for one of the boys, and the mother knows that her husband gets really annoyed if she tries to tell him to hurry up. She knows that from experience. So she gets everyone in order and the presents are ready and the kids are dressed. And then they're just waiting for the father. And eventually it's like 10 minutes left for like until the birthday party starts. And she says like very like, so are you getting prepared or something? And then he gets really angry and he says that, well, now that you started to nag me, I will I will take my time. And he's sitting on the couch and I will have to do this calmly now because you nagged me. And he says some mean things to her and the mother gets sad. And then, of course, the kids are frustrated about the situation because they are waiting to go to the party, but questioning their father is out of the picture because he is abusive. So that's scary. And they're not thinking about this consciously, but it's something that automatically happens. So then they will go to the mother and share their frustrations. So why did you have to, why can't we just go? Or why did you have to do that? And so on. And the mother, she can't explain to the kids, well, your father is behaving like he's doing the wrong, like he's doing a wrong here. And that so she has to explain to them that, well, it's okay, we'll just wait for daddy. And no matter what she does, if she tries to stand up for herself, then the kids will believe their father when he says that she is causing an argument. She is the reason for why they can't go to the party. And if she is not standing up for herself, then the kids will see that, well, she is a pushover. So why won't you even stand up for yourself? If you get the point. And he explains this because it's a common situation that some of the kids start to ally with the father, and especially then when he is charming, and then he is like, okay, now let's go, and who is in a happy mood, and perhaps he's making jokes on the mother's expense and having them laugh, and he is having more power inside the home, so the kids may align themselves with him automatically because it's uncomfortable to realize that their father is an abuser. And because if they are looking at what is going on, it can look like the mother is to blame for like the abuser is putting the blame on the victim. So and also so I think that can be what is going on, that they are copying a bit of what he is doing. But I will share my experience. So I left, let's see, my kids were 7 and 9 when I left. They had actually not taken on, or let's see, they were affected, but I did not see it. So no one of them started to try to treat me poorly. They did not do that. Actually, my son started to say to his father, like, why are you speaking like that to mommy? And why did this happen? Well, I think that my husband was sort of, he was not really involved, like he wasn't even at home during the weekdays. So he was never there. And I think that that's partly like saved them a bit, like they were not interacting a lot with him. Um, and what else? Yeah, but I think that they were affected by the tension. So they noticed that things were, and they have said this after we left, that, for example, my daughter had a friend who was like a girlfriend who was trying to make decisions for her. Like, you should get this when buying the candy like this. You should get this one, or we should do this. And then my daughter said that I don't like to be with her because it feels like living with daddy again. So he was highly controlling, and he was trying to control things about the kids as well. And they felt that tension and that pressure on them, and they didn't like it. I thought that they did not see a lot of, or I believed that, well, they have not seen a lot of the abuse. But they sensed the tension in the home. So, and they noticed the difference. Yeah, but it's hard, of course. It's hard when you see that your kids are getting affected. Let's see, because I will just read here, because you write something again about the situation. It makes me want to step in, but when I do, I'm stepping on his toes or undermining him. I'm learning I can't control the relationship to him, but I can offer an example. Yeah. So something is going on in the parent, well, like when he is parenting, you don't like what he's doing in that situation. Yeah. But you can offer an example. Yes. You can offer an example of like being, listen to them and be respectful for them and to them. And I don't really know what the dynamics are in your home. So I don't want to give you any advice that might escalate any conflict or put you in danger. But if you are able to step away from conflict and say things like, I don't want to fight, like remove yourself from conflict and protect yourself, that's also an example. If you're doing those things, they are seeing that as well. And I would guess that you're a good mother, Libby, and you're giving them love. So you are doing your best, and you are fighting for them. And the situation, it's not your fault. It's his fault. I know that it's hard. Like, it's hard when we see, oh, this is having an effect on the kids, and I don't want, we do not wish that to happen. But it's not your fault what is going on, and you are doing the best you can, and you are starting to prepare a bit and educating yourself, and that's good. That's great. And you are here today. You made it again. So yeah, I mean, you're showing up every day for your kids and doing the best you can. So remember those things as well. Like now when I just talked, when we go into like, oh, it can have this effect on the kids and it's gonna, yes, that's true. But what's also true is that when you are able to leave, they will be able to they will see like another part of how family life can be like, and what I mean to say is that we should not get stuck in that blaming ourselves and feeling hopeless and so on, because you're doing so much and it's not your fault what is going on. And even if there are some effects when you're in that situation, when you're out, things can be different, and you can have another, meet them in another way, and hopefully those behaviors will start to dim a bit. Okay, let's see. Libby says, the good side makes me feel crazy, like I'm overthinking things. Yeah. Yeah, the good side of him makes it feel silly that he would even be abusive. It's really it's very strange, but I know exactly what you mean. But I think it's and you put the blame, immediately think that perhaps it's me. Perhaps I was wrong. And that good side also, it sort of makes everything else feel unimportant when they are under good behavior. But I think that that's partly because of the trauma bond, that it feels so good when they are on their good behavior, and partially because they are behaving so poorly, they are behaving so badly, like most of the time. So that makes that good behavior seem so good. It's like if you have been in the desert and someone you get a glass of water, it feels so good. I read I read something that had to do with brainwashing, but it was several months ago. I can't remember. I think it was a research paper. But anyway, when you are brainwashing someone, like a prisoner of war, there is this. They noticed that if a prisoner have been treated really, they have really been treated badly, they have been treated like the less than a human, or with disgust, and they're treating the person really badly. And then if the guard, let's say, suddenly shows a little bit of kindness, and it does not even need to be that kind. It can be like asking the prisoner, so where are you from? Like which town, or and then that small kindness feels amazing. Like it feels so good that they have treated me so nicely, but they have not really treated you nicely. They have just been decent. So our level of normalcy has been affected, and also that ability to trust what we're seeing. Yeah. What you're describing, Libby, is it's common. And thank you for sharing. I think it's helpful for others as well. Many of us are struggling with the same things. Let's see, a little more tea. And Libby says, it's almost scary that for so long things were really weird with him when the kids were really little. And now that they are old enough to know better, he has calmed down a lot. Oh, okay. He was acting worse before, and now he is calmer. You mean when he is parenting? Is that what you mean? Or when they are watching? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean, but it's a good thing that things are calmer, but things can also, like, it can go up and down. And there can be periods, like even for years, when things are a bit calmer, and then it can, like, that behavior that they showed can come back. I hope it does not. And sometimes it has to do with other factors. Like if he's feeling that he, like, it can also have to do with if he feels that he might get away with things, or if he feels that he won't, if there are eyes on him, or if you have a bit more options and so on. It's very hard to know exactly what they are thinking, like inside of their minds, but yeah. Let's see. Then Libby says, keep sweet. Is that an old Mormon saying? I had Mormon roommates in my younger life. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, but we have similar, I think we have some similar sayings in Sweden. Let's see. And this cog says, the use of push-pull behavior makes it very difficult to see clearly. These conversations help so much with self-alignment. I'm happy that you feel that. Yes, like when they're changing, they are cold and irritated and nasty, and then they are suddenly nice and sweet and drawing you in. It is very difficult to see clearly and confusing. So I'm glad that it helps to come here and to reconnect with what is really going on, and trust what we're seeing. Let's see. And Libby says, the words and actions or behavior might send different signals. Yeah. Yes. Let's see. The MAR means, Libby, compliance groomers, industrialized narcissistic paradigm. Okay. Now you're discussing the Mormons. Mormons, I said. Let's see. And Libby says, I made mistakes too. I am using this time to clean up my side of the street too. So I'm hoping to go at least on good terms. Yeah. Yes. So you have changed, like you have decided that you will leave, and he does not know that. but you have changed a bit in your behavior, and at least trying not to do anything that you feel is not how you would like to act, and you think that, well, perhaps then we can at least end the relationship on good terms. I think it's good that you are trying to, or that you're working on yourself and to not do things that you feel would be wrong. But I hope that it would work for you to live on good terms. Many of these toxic partners, especially the ones who have some narcissistic traits, it's very rare that you would be able to live on good terms, and them not creating a conflict or resisting that you would leave. Perhaps, yeah. But I hope that you will be able to leave, and that it would be on good terms, of course. Let's see. Yes. Yeah, that was my ex vacation by himself. And at that point, I felt that rather on vacation than home with me. Yeah, but that was like when he started to do that, and he first did that when we had 2 small kids, and he just left, even though I begged him not to go on vacation by himself. He promised that, like, he had an excuse as well, like, I have to go because I will, like, he had something that he was going to do in that country. But then I will take you and the kids, but that never happened. And there was a lot of argument, but it really broke my heart when he started to do that. But it's not easy to leave when someone does that. Let's see. The things that helped me the most are audiobooks and videos and groups online that helped me learn, and taking the focus off him to put them on me, on my behavior management and emotional. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for sharing. And let's see. And Sanjeev is here. Hi. Let's see. And Libby says, I felt so hurt and confused for so long, and it didn't make sense. And something just seemed off, and I kept trying for years until I began learning. Yeah. Yes, it's hurtful and confusing when someone do these things, and it's painful. I'm sorry that you had to go through this. But I'm glad that you started to see what is going on and start to educate yourself. Let's see. And Sanjeev has a question. Do you think an enabler, codependent with some narcissistic traits could be more dangerous than an actual full-blown narcissist? You have to ask Sam Vaknin. Enabler, codependent. Well, first of all, I have some issues with the term codependent. But I will have to talk about that a bit like not now because I still get upset when I hear the term codependent. But I get what you mean. Someone who is mm, putting others' needs before their own, and um, a bit of a people pleaser, and perhaps have some phone responses. And then they have some narcissistic traits. Um, well, I think that um, what is dangerous is actually when someone is abusing and manipulating others. So it is very hard to say who is more dangerous just from like someone who has some people pleasing traits and narcissism, and a full blown narcissist who is not trying to please anyone. It's hard to say who would be most abusive, because it is the person who is manipulating others, and who are hurting them, putting them down, perhaps pitting people against each other, and so on. And that can, of course, be done covertly or overtly. So I can't really say who is more dangerous, but the one who is causing more, who is abusing more, and who is willing to take it further to have their own goals met, is the most dangerous, I think. Let's see. And this cook says, nice is different than good. Yeah. Yes, I mean, probably good is a moral, like someone who is trying to do the right thing. And nice is someone who is pleasant to be around. So yes, it is different. That's a good observation. Like, just because you're pleasant does not mean that you are automatically having the higher moral ground. Let's see. Libby says, I'm nervous about things. I'm nervous about things it takes to go and what that might be like. So I'm taking my time preparing, going slow to ensure it's what's right for me. Yeah. Yes, you told me that you're preparing to, or you're thinking about and actually started to prepare for leaving. But you want to take it slow, and you want to be sure that it's the right decision, and you want to be as prepared as you can. That sounds sensible, Libby. You are the one who knows best what your situation is like, and all the details, and all the circumstances. So yes, take it in your time, and continue to educate yourself, and prepare yourself. It sounds wise. Let's see. And this cook says, Red Riding Hood from Into the Woods musical is very relatable. Dangerous. I haven't seen the musical. But you mean that the wolf is, I guess he sounds nice, but he's a wolf. Is that what you mean? Yeah, there is a lot of wisdom in some of the old stories. Let's see. And Libby says, was it tough for the kids to adjust? Did they know about what happened to you or why you had to leave? Did you have to share custody or was he in prison? Okay. First, was it tough for them to adjust? I thought it would be much harder. But the kids adjusted more smoothly than I had expected. Let's see. Like it's a whole, like me leaving is a process as well. So let's see, the first 6 months after we separated, we did not live together and I did not meet him alone. And he was stalking me. But he was in contact with the kids on the phone and he saw them 3 times, but then he was not interested in seeing them. And that was it was confusing for them in a way, like because he was trying to manipulate them. So it was harder actually for them while they were in contact with him, because the calls when he was calling to speak, or they answered their phones, and he would speak to them, but then he would try to make them tell things about me or go and give me a message, or he would try to agree to things with the kids without asking me. So like promise them that we would do this, or try to get them to say that. So I don't have to go into all the details, but it was hard for them when they were in contact because he was manipulating them. And they were also a bit sad because like now, because I was not talking with him, I was only writing. And I had to go in and actually end the calls several times, like many times. I had to end his calls with the kids because he was behaving badly in some way. And now they were seeing more of his behavior that they had not been exposed to before. He called my son once and he was yelling at him and so on. I did not tell them in the beginning why, like I told them in steps. And because they also started to see things, they started to understand that, well, dad is calling and now like he's screaming, so what is going on? And I told them that, well, I can't, in the beginning I just said that I can't live with daddy because he is not treating me good. He's not nice to me, and he's like, I just said actually the things that they have already seen. He is complaining a lot and I'm doing all the work and he is not helping me, and it is too difficult for me to live with daddy, so we'll have to live in different locations. But then like as things developed, I had to eventually tell them a bit more of what was going on, and eventually the police got involved and they saw the police like come to our home and so on. So I could not keep it a secret from them. And I had this sort of policy that I would not lie to them. So if they asked, because we had sort of an open relationship, we have had always they can come to me and say things and talk to me, and they, I think, feel comfortable sharing their thoughts with me. So when things started to happen, they started to ask a lot about what was going on, and I never lied to them. Sometimes I told them that, well, there is a reason for why this is happening, but I can't. It's like something that should be handled between adults, or this is something that I will tell you when you get a bit older, and so on. But some things I did share, but on their level, so that they would not be scared and so on. But they had to know certain things. Let's see. And so, but it was like in a process. And then because of all the stalking and so on, then the police got involved, but that was 6 months after the separation. And we don't have shared custody now. I have sole custody, which is a relief. Let's see. And this cog says, yes, one may judge self's value based on another's unwillingness to start harming. Yeah. I think we do that automatically. We have this system. Humans are social creatures, and we have this way of reading our status in the how people are treating us, and then we adjust our feelings to that. And it can even affect our hormone levels. Like if you have heard about the power postures, when someone will like stand like this, or when you take up more space, it signals to your body that you are like an alpha animal, or that you are a bit more dominant, and it will increase the levels of testosterone and lower the levels of stress hormone. And the opposite if you sit a bit hunched and so on. But also how people treat you, like the brain is taking note of that. If you are moving around like your daily life and you're constantly being criticized and put down, that creates a lot of feelings of like being wrong and worthless and inferior. So yeah, if someone is constantly harming us and abusing us, that's normal that we feel. It has an effect on the way that we feel about ourselves. Let's see. And here's, I think, a new welcome, a new face, or Annabella the Happy Carnivore. I don't know. I always end up coming back. He has a funny way of making me attracted to his toxicity. Oh, yeah. He is a charmer. Yeah, they can be very charming and very attractive. And so he draws you in when you try to leave or end a relationship, and then he draws you back in. It sounds like there might be some trauma bond dynamics going on. When they are shifting their behavior, and it's so typical that they go back to putting on the charm when they want to draw you back in. It's actually a bit addictive, and that we can get very drawn to them when they put on that charm. I have a video linked in the description about the trauma bond if you want to look at it. Yeah, but that's one of the things that makes it hard to leave, because we love that guy, that like the charmer. And I have to say that that charming guy is not his real self. It's a bit like, it's hard. It would take some time to explain why I think that that is not the real him. I'm thinking about if I can say it short and sweet. If that was the real him, he would not only put that charm on when you are about to leave. That's the act that he is putting on to draw you in, but that never lasts, because he always reverts back to distance, or the relationship most of the time does not feel that good. And you can also start, like, if you have like, if you feel, if this is happening, keep a journal, like even just small notes of how things are, and then you'll start to see, often the pattern that is emerging is that it's a cycle. He is nice, and then he starts to withdraw, and you feel that something is off between you. He's not that nice anymore. He's a bit cold and distant, and then there is a conflict. And after the conflict, you resolve the conflict, or you talk it out, and then he is nice for a while, and then he goes back to being distant. And this pattern is the pattern of the abusive cycle. I have spoken about this a lot more in other places. Let's see. I will just check quickly, because I think perhaps like I did a live stream talking about the dream every narcissistic relationship is built on. I think I might, like, I have spoken about this abusive cycle and the trauma bond a lot of times, but I think perhaps in that one I go into the details. And that video that I have linked in the description about the trauma bond, I think could be a good one. Let's see. Libby says, one time I asked him, after so much criticism in a few weeks, why do you stay? I mean, if you can't find one positive thing to say about me, who would want to stay with someone they must correct so much? And that criticism stopped for a long while after that. Yeah, you said the truth, Libby, and they don't like the truth. He did not have an answer, I think. That's my guess, but that's a sharp observation. Let's see. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Welcome. I think it's the first time I see your name here as well. I recently lost my girlfriend because she said I was abusive. I'm trying to listen to the feedback and improve myself. How would you suggest I go about trying to mend that relationship and get her back? I think that you should not mend the relationship and get her back. I think that you should work on your behavior if she says that you have been abusive. Okay, let's see. Brian thinks that I'm not answering questions, but I'm going through them, Brian. Okay, let's see. Libby says, I get scared I might be blaming him too much. I mean, I'm far from perfect, but I think the presence or absence of positive regard for somebody is very telling. Libby, you don't have to be perfect to not deserve to be abused and put down and criticized. It, like, even if you are not perfect, I don't think that you are abusing him. Some of us go through and there's this reactive abuse. That's something a bit different. When you're really pushed and pushed and pushed, you can lose it and do something or say something that's mean. But that, I would guess, is not the way that you are interacting with him on a regular basis. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can try to think about, like, if you talk to him the way that he's talking to you, how would he think about that? And if he would treat you the way that you are treating him, how would that feel? Like, I think that my guess is that it's a very vast difference between your behavior and his behavior. And you can't judge, like, you can't have the expectation on yourself that you should be perfect and never do any wrong and always be like never do anything that would irritate him as one, or it's not humanly possible. And I know you have kids and a lot of responsibility, and you can't always be perfect. There's like the life has to have room for imperfection, but there should not be room for abuse. Let's see. Brian, you have to ask a question if you want it to be answered. Let's see. Okay. I'm just jumping the people who are criticizing my Q&A. If you want to ask a question, you have to ask the question. And I'm taking my time with them because they're all important. Let's see. Libby. And mine has had some legit medical issues lately. He has a rare progressive disorder and it has been acting up more. He doesn't trust doctors with treatments that made symptoms worse. Yes. I mean, I understand. Perhaps this has to do with the fact that you said that I feel pity for him. It still does not, like, even if you have an illness, it does not make it okay. The behavior that he is, like his treatment of you is still not okay. And he is an adult. So what I realized after leaving was that I was actually, not consciously, but when I was staying with my ex-husband, and he was doing a lot of things to hurt me, and I was doing a lot of things to keep things working at home and not at least like avoid any severe incidents of abuse. And I was having so much focus into him, and like when when I stopped giving that focus to him and when I left, I realized that I had put too much focus into him. Like he became too much of a priority, and I was much lower on the list, even though I was the one who was like keeping things together and caring for the kids. I like neglected myself, and also even the kids' needs had to stand back a bit because of him, because of his abusive behavior and because of the conflicts and so on. So yes, I understand that you feel pity for him, and you have like you have love and ability to love, and this is a man that you choose to marry and create a life with before he showed like this abusive behavior. But he's an adult, so he can go to the doctor, he can get treatment, and he has to take care of himself. You can't be his mommy, and so that's my opinion. Yeah, and I know that like US have a bit like the laws there, and to get the medical care and so on. That's sad, but it's not your responsibility anyway. But I'm just sharing my my opinions on the questions, and you can take it or leave it. Like if it feels that it fits and it gives you some clarity, then take it. But if you feel that I did not understand it properly, then then leave it. Let's see. And this Cog says, patience is essential to true learning, especially with long established patterns. Yes, it takes time to change things, and especially when it has been some of the patterns have been going on since we were small kids, and it takes a long time to learn and to change. And a behavioral change is something that it takes a long time. And when you change one little thing, you might discover or realize something else that you had not seen before. So let's see. Libby says, wow, that sounds too familiar. We haven't had that specific issue, but similar. I'm not sure which issue, but I'm happy that you are feeling understood. Let's see. In the US, divorced couples can't do something called parental alienation. But in these types of situation, it feels like parental alienation while married, denigrating and slyly suggesting that one. I'm not really sure. So do you mean that he is turning the kids against you? Is that while married or in these situations? Perhaps I'm not really sure what you mean, but yes, the toxic people, the toxic partners they do triangulation with the kids as well. They don't want the partner and the kids to be one unit, because that will decrease their power and control in the family. Often they choose a favorite child and someone that they criticize more, and they might counter-parent. So you have certain rules, and then they say that, well, mommy is so boring, so I decided you can do it anyway. So undermining you, and and so on. And Lonnie Bancroft also writes about this in his book, that he sees, because he worked with abusive men for 30 years in groups, and he talked with the families, and so he observed these dynamics, and he observed many of these men and the families, and he noticed that this is a pattern. The abuser is so separate, trying to create a separation and suspicion and conflict inside the family. Yeah. And then Libby says, parent lacks good character. Yeah, I guess you mean the toxic person. Yes, I agree. Let's see. I'm sorry, Emma is... Oh, you mean those? I think they left. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Sometimes there is someone coming in, and I think he's not here, but the guy asking for tips how to get his girlfriend back, I think he's an abuser. I've seen this, like, even in my practice, they get desperate when the women leave, and then they will try to get her to come back, and so they want tips what to say. But I don't think they're here. They're not patient. Let's see. And you're making supper now, Libby. Yeah, that's like I told you that you're a great mom. You need to be kinder to yourself, and you're praying for all. Thank you. Let's see. And Discog says, yeah, Libby, narrative hijacking begins early. You mean with the kids, I guess. Let's see. And then Libby says, oh, no, I don't have a moderator. I am doing this myself, but I think it's fair to do the questions in order. So I can't see all questions at once, but yeah. But I think that those the unhappy fellas left. So yeah. And you feel protective of this space, Discog. That's good. I don't really know how to... Let's see. Yeah, I know that some creators, when they get a bit bigger, they have someone to do the moderation. I don't have that. So let's see. And Libby says, Discog, I have apologized. I didn't know about that. Never meant to hog the time. No, I think that they... Libby, you didn't hog the time. You have an important, like, you're sharing about your situation, and don't mind the people who can't be patient and wait for their turn, I think. Let's see. Not at you. Okay, I don't know if there was some people writing things in the comment that someone has removed. I only saw a couple of them. Let's see. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm reading to Discog and Libby's conversation. Yeah, yes, and I think that this works great. So I'm just going down through the questions and answer everyone. So far, this has worked in all my lives, and I'm here until I have answered all the questions. And if more people start to join the lives, we might have to do the question thing. But let's see. Yeah, I think that you should not pay attention to the persons who criticized earlier. If I didn't miss anything, but it happens. I mean, anyone can join these lives. So someone sees it and then they come in and then they want their questions answered immediately, and it's not happening. Let's see. Then Discogs says, my narrative hijacking comment was referring to parental denigration earlier on. Sideways comment made about the abusive parent. Yes. Yeah. It's like when we grow up in a family where there is abuse and toxicity, it starts early. Let's see. Oh, and you wrote an answer to. You saw that, Libby, that he was trying to manipulate her to get back. Right. Red flag, give her space. That's good. Okay, and this cook says, wow, that hits home. You don't have to be perfect to deserve to not be abused. Yeah. I'm happy that it did hit home. You don't have to be perfect. Oh, you're writing to the guy. I don't think he actually wanted help, so I think he just wanted her back. Yeah, but I mean, it's very kind that you're sharing. I've seen this behavior before. I've had patients like this as well. So they come at visit to, like, they call the healthcare center to need an appointment. Now, immediately, they are not doing good. They are depressed. They are like anxious. They need help. And then they come to the appointment and they need help now. They need to get an ADHD diagnosis, and they need to get into some sort of program. They need help. And why? Well, because my girlfriend left me. So I need to get her back. I need to show her that I can change. And I even, like, before I fully understood what is going on, I actually thought that, well, now he's trying to get some help for himself, so we need to help him, and of course we need to do that anyway. But when they come to the healthcare center, you try to not do everything that they want, but you try to see where you can help them to do better, or do the assessments to see if they are depressed and so on. I even had one. So especially one guy I'm thinking about, he came and I think I saw him like one more time, and he showed me that I've written her a letter and explained all the things that I'm doing to change. So do you think that she will take me back? And then the next appointment, he didn't show up. And I called him because he had said that he was depressed. And I thought that I hope he has not harmed himself. And so I called him and I said, did you miss the appointment? And he said, nah, she's not coming back, so it's no point. It's no point to get any help. It was just a manipulation. Let's see. Okay, yeah, but you're kind to each other. Let's see. And Libby says, our hard work. Okay, let's see. There are a lot of kind comments here. Okay, and you like the where I skipped over them interrupting. That's good. Let's see. Libby says, yeah, triangulation with the kids. He used to try that with my stepdaughter. you were married before, but it didn't work. So now he's doing it with ours. Yeah. I'm sorry that he's doing that. No, I think that you should not care about them, Libby. They were not they were trolling. Let's see. Okay, now we're down at the bottom. Now we talked about all the questions, so the floor is open if there is someone who has not who has had a question that they want answered. Let's see. Tomorrow I will. I think it could be helpful, at least for you, Libby. It's about the exit love bomb. Like when you try to leave, they usually turn very nice on their best behavior, and they turn the charm on and promise to change, and they might even make an appointment with their doctor and say that they will go on medications, and it's fake. So I will talk about that tomorrow, and then I think I can really recommend that book by Lonely Bancroft. He even has like a chapter in the end talking about what would real change look like. How do you know if an abuser is changing, and how do you judge that? And I think I will have to, I will do a video about that, but the book is also very good. And tomorrow that about the exit love bomb. So I think we will. So I am planning. I have a lot of plans for content that I want to do on the channel, and I'm trying to adjust it a bit to what I'm hearing. Hi, Lydia. Welcome. I will get to your comment. I will just finish my sentence. So I'm trying to adjust it a bit to what we're discussing in the lives, or what I'm hearing in the comments, and sometimes I get emails from people in the community, and also a bit of like what I'm feeling that it's important to cover. So I have like a lot of video, like I have even scripted or wrote down things that I have to talk about. But so the coming weeks, I think we will talk a bit more about leaving and about the blaming yourselves. That will be on next Monday, I think. So explaining why we blame ourselves, and why other people blame victim, because it's not only us, it's the abuser blames us, but then also other people may blame the survivor, and that's very common. And I filmed this video today, and that will be on Monday, I think, because it will clear up some confusion. Yeah, and I have to say this as well. So on the 27th of February, that will be 1 year since I started the channel, and I thought that we should do something special that week. And my idea was actually that it will be a live stream week. So I'm planning to do no long videos that week. It will be several live streams. So yes, to do something a bit different. And now let's see. Lydia came into the live. You're welcome. It's very hard to leave your whole narcissistic family. It's very lonely. Yes. Yes, it's difficult and painful. I have done this myself, and it's very hard. I think that like it's hard, and it's grieving when you have to let go of them. And it's a decision that, like, no one can make that decision for you. It's you that have to come to that. Well, I no longer want any toxicity in my life. I don't want that for my kids. I want to break that cycle. Um, so what has helped for me is actually to keep my sight on, like, well, repeating that I want a life with no toxicity. I don't want abuse in my life. I don't want people who are abusive be in contact with me and be having an effect on my kids. I want them to be safe. They have experienced enough. So that's very important. And then trying to keep, like, right now it is hard. It gets easier. So when time goes on, I think it gets easier. It's a year since I broke contact with almost everyone in my family and relatives and old friends. But it was also, like, first of all, it was because of this reason, because I realized how much toxicity and abuse had been going on. And a few of them was because I was not sure if they would leave information to my ex-husband. It gets easier with time. And also it gets easier when you start to create a new life and a new everyday, and like new colleagues or friends. I'm seeing it as, like, it's like there is a garden and there is a weed everywhere, and you have to, like, pull up the weed and it gets really empty, but you have just made space so there can be some other plants growing there, like some flowers that are not suffocated by the weed. But it takes time and it feels empty, and we can miss, like, the thing is that it's normal to miss a person who is toxic and not good for us and who have been abusing us, and still not, like, even if we miss them, and we can even love them without being in contact with them. And sometimes we love just a part of their behavior, and we have to, like, there's a grieving process where we have to accept, grieve, and process that loss, and eventually it gets easier. Let's see. And Libby, you says that you'll check Landy's book. Yeah, do that. I think you can, like, start to check it here on YouTube. It's an audio free audio version on YouTube. Let's see. Yeah. I'm very happy that you're giving each other support and advice. So you were saying to Lydia that it can help to build resources like support groups to understand. Yes, it helps to it helps to get support and to be in contact with other survivors, and to create that new relationships. You have made room for that. Okay, let's see. And then there are some supportive comments. Yeah, and congratulations, 1 year. Yeah, thank you. It feels really, really good. I'm very happy that I started the channel. And I started it because I was suffering and feeling a lot of pain at that. Like, when I started the channel, I just moved for the 4th time in 1 year, and that was just like 1 week ago. So I do the first video, and you don't see that in the video, but there are boxes everywhere, and I'm like sad and and exhausted and suffering from CPTSD. And I was thinking that I have to do something from all this suffering. I have to just share my story. But then I discovered that, oh, there is a community here and connecting with other survivors. So that's amazing. Let's see. And then you missed the title. It's in the description of the, let's see, I will just double check. I put it usually in every, if you go in the description, I have like a little list of books I found helpful there. So far, there are only 2 on that list that I really, really found helpful, but I might add some more books. So there it is. Okay, let's see. And Libby has a question. Is your life more peaceful or less drama? Yes, much more. I mean, there is no drama. There is no conflict. There is... So, first of all, I live alone with my kids. And yes, there are some normal family conflicts, like someone getting a bit annoyed, but then we can talk about it. But there is no abuse going on, and I am relaxed in my home, and I feel comfortable and happy, and like I don't have to double think everything. For example, now I can't show you; it's too horrible. But now, before this live, I put my kids to bed, and I usually read for them in the evening, and then I was preparing a bit, and I just left all the like a lot of the dishes in the kitchen, so it's really like a mess, but that's okay. I'm right now, I'm doing the live, and no one will come and be annoyed, and so I don't double think everything, and I am more happy, and we're laughing more together, me and the kids. So I'm really I am very, very happy that I left, because I was actually leaving to get away from his maltreatment of me. But then I discovered that, oh, is this like what it is like? Is this what it is like to not live under that oppression? Because I lived under that for so long that I didn't feel that my level of like my normality had been affected. So I didn't recognize how much I was affected by his maltreatment and abuse of me until I left. So let's see. And then the lady had asked, did you get any help with your CPTSD or cure? Well, I'm still suffering from it, but it's much lower, like the symptoms are much less. I did, so I will have to explain a bit like how my symptoms were. I had pretty severe CPTSD, especially during when we were getting stalked, and the third time we moved, it would be so bad that I would jump. Like if I saw something, a sound or something moving that I was not prepared for, I would get it felt like a flash, or like it was a jolt going through my body, and immediately my anxiety level was this high, and I felt like my body was reacting, even if I was like understood that the thing that moved was just my cat. It was too late. My body was already like reacting, and I could not sleep like I had, and I still have. But when it was at its worst, I had nightmares every night, and they were about me getting tortured. It was horrible nightmares, and so I have spoken to therapists, and I have read a lot like about CPTSD and the from surviving to thriving. But I've tried, like, what I've done the most is just to try to calm my body and like to make sure that my home is peaceful and I'm able to, like, if I feel a bit overwhelmed, I'm able to go into my room and close the door. So I have my own room here, which really helped with those symptoms. Hi, hello, Yoshimon. I'm answering the questions in order. So the symptoms naturally dimmed as I was continuing to live in a very peaceful and calm home. And I am trying to be kind to myself. So when I feel that something is making me uncomfortable, I don't try to push myself to do that. I try to remove myself from the situation or calm my system down. So I can tell you, I realized this actually tonight. I thought that, well, those symptoms are like, I don't have that much CPTSD symptoms anymore. But then this evening, like, my son was playing a video game. And he wanted to show me, like, he was playing with his best friend. And so they were online, and the friend is he's not here, but he was in his home, and they were playing online, and they were shooting at each other in this, like, it's not even very realistic. It's like, it looks like these Lego men who are shooting at each other. And then he said, Mommy, I will, like, come here and I will show you, because I got like, he got the burger. I don't know what use is the burger in that game, but he wanted to show me the things that he had gotten in the game. And then he said, look, when I'm shooting my friend here, I like, look when I will win over him. And they have the game, and then his friend lost, and then they respawn. Then they come back, and then there is the point system. And then he said, now look when I will kill him with the knife. And then he clicked on the computer, and he like to choose the weapons. And then I felt really my body reacted, because I wasn't prepared for that, and because I have, some of you know my story, but I have experienced a very dangerous situation, including a knife twice, and I wasn't able to watch. So I told him, I did not say that I just got triggered, but I told him that I can't watch right now. I don't like to see the violence, and it didn't feel good to see the violence, so I have to go. So I removed myself from the situation, but it still comes up, but it's not that, like, it's not unmanageable like it was during a period, like I couldn't even work. Okay, let's see. Libby says, Yeah. Oh, when you leave, you have in the US, you have to not only divorce, but you need health insurances and orthodontic insurance. Oh, it's that separate. Oh, that's uh that's yeah, of course it makes it difficult. Um yeah, that's a shame. Like, it's a shame that the system works like that. Um I understand that it makes it more difficult. Um and this cook says you have more peace, but the brain sometimes tries to stir things up so things feel normal. Oh, okay. So the brain is used to things being a bit chaotic and perhaps some conflict. Is that what you mean? Yeah, but you're learning to navigate toward peaceful normal. Yeah, it takes time to settle into that uh, to that peace and to not. Yeah, yeah, I understand what you mean. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and Josh Simon said hello. Mhm. Libby says, you can just make decisions that work for you, and that's okay. You don't have to monitor what moods it might put him in or explain yourself, right? Yes. Yes, exactly. I don't have to, like, I can just be me. And yeah, I can take other people into consideration when I make decisions. But that it's not the same thing like constantly being aware of, if I do this he will react like that, if I do this, like, he won't like that, I have to fix that, or like it's more. Yeah, I was hyper vigilant when I was in the relationship, even when I didn't know I was. He was constantly like a free passenger in my mind. uh, Oh, okay. Yeah, you're really kind. You're writing to any newcomers. Um, and Lydia says, thank you for answering my question. I have CPTSD too, and I wondered if you got any help for it. I want to get EMDR. Yeah. I've heard, so no, I have not gotten any more help than except for talking to a few therapists, but I think that I did not perhaps find the right therapist. I think that there are good therapists out there who do have more experience with CPTSD. So I did not get any more specific help. I've heard that some women say that they did get really good help from EMDR. So you want to get that. Yeah. And I think also what helps me, or what helped me, was also to understand what was happening, because it's really uncomfortable and confusing. Like when you get these symptoms, and it almost feels like the body and the mind is going crazy. It is, and it's uncomfortable because you feel really, really anxious when you get the triggers, and of course the nightmare, like it can be, or I have during periods have very hard time to sleep, for example, because of the nightmares. It's very hard, it's difficult to deal with, but what helped me was to educate myself on, like, what is CPTSD and why is my body reacting like this. Oh, it's the nervous system, it has been under like a very stressful environment for too long, and now it is interpreting any small sign like it is an emergency, but it's not an emergency, but my body doesn't know that. So to understand what was happening helped me to deal with it and like not, for example, during as I said, I had a period where I was really having a lot of symptoms, and I could be standing in my kitchen and see someone, like I saw a person outside on the street and walking their dog, and I got like severe, almost like a panic attack. But because I know what was going on, I could calm myself down instead of getting more scared because my body was reacting like this. So yeah, that's what helped me. But as I said, I still have some symptoms, and this can be very long lasting, but dims with time. And if you get some help, like if you're able to get some help with it, then I would go for it. Let's see, EMDR, I think, I don't know. Lydia, if I remember correctly, you are from Sweden, and EMDR is usually like the psychiatric clinics that are arranging that, and not everyone are able to get access to it. It also depends on where you live in the country and so on. But if you can access it, then I would, yes, I think that could help. Okay. Any more questions? We'll see if something comes. I will show you something meanwhile. Like you will be now suffering through one more knitting demonstration. But right now I'm working on these mittens. It's for me. So I finished one, but I have to like put in the little threads in the right place. And then I will make another one. But and I chose like the colors, you see. So one thing that I have done for my own healing is to knit, because it like, and I could do that actually when I was suffering with these CPTSD symptoms, and I did knit a lot because it calmed me, and I could, like, you can feel the yarn and you can work with the colors, and so this is what I chose for myself now. And I will make another mitten. But then my daughter said, I need, oh, thank you, Lydia. I need a winter hat, she said. Yeah, you also, it's not, thank you for good work today. Won't we? I'm not sure what you mean, but if you meant my mitten, then I accept your your compliment. Yeah, then my daughter said, I want a hat, and I said, you can choose which color, and she said, I want a black one, but I don't have black yarn. So we went yesterday to the yarn shop together, and I was like, are you sure you want only black? Like I wanted to combine it with pink or something. No, I want only black. So I'm now knitting. Let's see, I'm working on her hat. I just finished the part, I can't see it because it's so black, but around the head, and then it will become a hat. But I'm just showing the difference between my daughter, the black, choosing black, and my own, choosing my own colors. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. it's I think it's really helpful to do something creative, especially when we're feeling stuck, like when we feel that like things are not moving forward as we want, or we feel a bit out of control or anxious, and then sit down and, and do like something. And I like the so this pattern yes, I did follow, like, yeah, you see the thumb is not really even. If you see it, it's not perfect, but it's calming, and it makes you feel that something is progressing. And yeah, I like that. And Libby says, let's see, I'll send you the new designs. Oh, they look fancy. Maybe I could sell them to a jeweler to help raise. Oh, you mean the shawl pin? Yeah. Let's see. You want to see it? Let's see if I can. But you said that you have a new design. You can send it to me, and we can show it here in the live stream. So yeah, Libby had an idea that we might be able to raise some money, well, for survivors. But it's like, I like the idea. It's a process to do something like that. I don't think I could do it right now, but I love the idea. Let's see. And Libby says, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you shared about these, the chapsticks. I think it's important to there are many women, especially women, stuck in these dynamics. And I think it's so important that we, well, connect with each other and support each other, and that no one should be left in these abusive relationships. So anything that we can do, spread the information and connect like this, and perhaps in the future something else. Yeah. See. Yeah, and you don't like swearing, Libby. I don't like that either. Okay. So I'm thinking that we might have come to the end of the live. We have gone through a lot of different questions, and we talked about leaving, about the dynamics. We talked a lot about the dynamics before leaving, and the pity and the blame, and we talked about leaving family behind. And we talked about CPTSD. Let's see. Libby says, thanks, I'm saving up and scared to call the lines. You don't want to throw him under the bus. He's just scared and insecure. Yeah, you're scared to call the domestic violence hotlines, you mean? But you don't have to name him. Like, it won't harm him if you call and get advice. I understand that. Like, I was also struggling with that feeling. I don't want to abandon him. But yeah, what helped me to get over that was writing down all the things that he had done to harm me and the kids, and to repeat to myself that he is an adult. He is an adult. He has to take care of himself now because he is an adult. Yeah. And yeah, I'm happy that you feel less alone here, Lydia. It's getting a bit late for you. No. Let's see. In the evening, I mean. In Sweden, it's getting a bit late. Let's see. And Libby says, yeah, in US, coercive control isn't illegal and it's not physical mostly. He's not mostly physical violent. Yes. But I think, hasn't some states... Yeah, but I get what you mean. He's mostly not physically violent. It's mostly coercive control or some verbal abuse. Yeah, but yes, it doesn't really make it less wrong, even though the law does not recognize it yet. Hopefully, it will get recognized in more countries. So the trend is the information is getting spread, and more countries are making it illegal. And I looked into this before, but I think that in a few states it is illegal, or it is it can be part of an abuse case that it can be mentioned, but I'm not sure about the details there. But it still doesn't make what he's doing less wrong. And yeah, I'm not really so yeah, I'm just blabbering now, but you still do not deserve his treatment, and it can still be risks. Like if he is a coercive controller, that behavior can be a risk, and that it can escalate to physical violence or to other types of threat, or he can escalate. And I've spoken about this before, the Jane Mockton Smith's, the coercive control timeline. I have a video about that and so on. Yeah, let's see what you write. Part of me hopes that if I just do better or clean my side of the street, but then it will be something else that sets it off her. Yeah, I was there. It's like, as long the relationship is abusive and it is following the cycle, and it is always something that will set him off. And it's not you, Libby, it's him. Let's see. And yeah, you're grateful for these safe spaces. That's great. And that people are learning that this is a precursor to the bad stuff, or might be. Yes, that's good. Let's see. We are okay for now. Tonight is good supper. Steak with onions. Oh, yummy. And garlic and veggies. That sounds good. Let's see. Eating healthy is part of self-care. I learned can help nourish and sustain us. Yes. Let's see. Libby says, he only threatened twice over the years, but only when I brought up separation. He feels scared of that. I get that. But I don't want to bring the kids up like this. Yes. But he threatened to harm you. Is that it? Yeah. So if you did not watch it, Libby, take a look at the coercive control 8-stage timeline. I have a video about that. Because it talks about this so it's very like the threat of separation is the most common trigger for the controlling partner to escalate their behavior, to make threats or to escalate the abuse, to get you back in the back into line, or to get back into control over you. So if he has done that before, it is a risk of, because you never left, you only brought up separation, and then he threatened you. It is a risk situation. If you are to leave, you need to do it without him knowing, because likely that can trigger again an escalation, and you don't know really how far that will go. And that is what happened to me, because I almost did not make it out when I talked about separation. So you don't bring it up anymore. Well, let's see. Veiled threats. Okay. You want to give them a healthy alternative. Okay. I just have to share that my ex-husband, when I talked about separation, he took a knife from the knife block in the kitchen and came at me and held it to my stomach. And I think that he was going to, I am sure that he was going to use it, because he had threatened to end my life and his life and the whole family. So I had to talk him out of it and convince him that I did not want to leave. And it was very, very scary. And that is one of the reasons why I still have the CPTSD symptoms, because I am sure that I was going to die. And that was just from mentioning that I wanted to separate. So it can be dangerous. Let's see. And thankfully says, you will never figure out what sets them off. Yeah, when they create a conflict, if you fix one thing, they will find another thing. Let's see. And Libby says, I don't think he would harm me, you mean, because he has an ex-wife. It seemed the second time like a manipulation. Because it worked for him the first time, so I don't bring it up anymore. Well, perhaps. But still be safely be. I think it also has to do with like what kind of options they think that they have if they leave. Like the more dependent they are on you, if he's dependent on you for financial reasons, if he has a hard time finding a partner, which they have a harder time when they get older, then he feels that you are more important. Let's see. Yeah, and X is fine. They would share their kids' birthday parties. They worked it out. I'm sure we could. Okay. Yeah, I hope so, Libby. I don't know your I don't know your husband and exactly your situation. Let's see. Let's see. And you say yes. Yeah, I'm happy that it's just words between you two so far. That's good. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry if I triggered someone, but I feel that it's important to share that leaving can, or let's see, it's something like 70% of all women who are murdered by their partner. It happens when they are in the process of leaving or after having left. And it does not have to and even if it doesn't happen in most cases, Like most of the women who leave does not get harmed, but it does happen. So it's good to know. And if someone is controlling and abusive, you should not give them a heads up, and you need to keep yourself safe afterwards. Let's see. Okay, it's a relief to talk about this. That's good. I haven't told anybody. I don't want him to get into trouble. He's doing the best he can. Yeah, it's good that you are opening up and telling someone. That's a very good step. So, and getting a bit of an outsider's view on the situation, it's helpful, and to feel that you have some support. Yeah. Okay, and the trigger isn't done. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh. Okay. Any last questions? So I will do the live again next Thursday, and then the week after that, that will be the 1 year live week. So yeah, and I will share a bit more about when I have planned exactly how to do that in a community post, I think. Okay, well, thank you for being here, everyone, and thank you for supporting each other in the comments. And yeah, I think it's always happy to see you, but in this form, in the live stream form. Okay. Well, I will end the live stream here, and take care of yourself and enjoy the dinner, Libby. Bye.